perfect. Um, I don't know how to. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right. So now we'll have it here. All right. So as you've seen, there's parties to the trust. We're gonna break this down because people lie and it's so irritating. And you can like just tell that they don't know what they're talking about because they haven't used the basics, right? So that is something that I have used since 2022 to kind of like making it easier way for people to understand, okay, of what a trust is and the parties to the trust. Okay, so we're gonna go here. I'm gonna share my screen. There it is. Okay, so here is trust primer. This comes directly from the IRS. This is not anything that I have made up. I have shown this time and time again. This is something great for you to study and see what the IRS says and not what people say. Okay, so the grantor is also known as a trustor, settler, or founder. The grantor is the person who transfers the trust property to the trustee. So when you create, and I'm going to start with the revocable living trust, and let me just say, all these people that are trying to do major things with revocable living trust, um, let me just say it this way. There's a bigger trust that can actually do what they're wanting to do because it has that type of capacity. And that is what I teach in my Patreon. Okay. The revocable living trust is nothing but estate planning purposes. I have an ebook and I've explained in my ebook how there's different types of trusts. There's different provisions in the trust. And when there's different provisions in the trust, this is where people are coming up with the name. So they'll say express living trust. They'll say express grantor, spendthrift, discretionary trust. All they're doing is basically breaking down and letting you know what is in their trust by how they are naming it. It is nothing big. Now, Supreme Court cases say that we can mold our trust in any way that we desire. So you can take a provision from the discretionary, a provision from spendthrift, a provision from the living. You can take all these provisions and then put it into your trust. And this is why I don't personally like creating other people's trust because I really don't know what they're looking for, right? Another thing that you must remember is jurisdiction in the governing law. So a lot of people are just creating these trusts in a wherever they are. And whatever state that they are in, uh, that trust then becomes controlled. So unless your trust, I don't care if it's a living trust, I don't care if it's an irrevocable, I don't care what type of trust it is. Depending on the governing law in the jurisdiction, most likely your trust is going to be controlled. I teach you the basics so that way you know the way we construct the trust in the Patreon, it is not it's not controllable. Okay. Nobody can take control of your trust. Okay. So when I hear, and it's not even about what I hear. Long story short, most people's trust is controlled. And if it's not controlled, then their trust administration, how they administer that trust makes it controllable. They give up their control. Hey, Dante is one of my students. He knows what I'm talking about. He's seen the proof. I show all things. I prove, I use court cases. So I know what I'm talking about. I've lived this lifestyle for a while now. And let me tell you, it's a lovely lifestyle. Okay. I'm not saying that my life is all peaches and roses and you know, that it's not. I mean, life is still life, you know what I'm saying? But to be able to make an unlimited amount of money without having to be taxed, not saying that I make an unlimited amount of money. I'm just saying that's something that I don't have to worry about. Okay. Because I hear people, you know, just people are like, oh, I can't make this over this amount and I can't do this and that. You know, you ain't got, especially traders, you know, traders be making that bread. And all I can think is them motherfuckers is also tax. Anytime I see a motherfucking big ass number, I don't, I'm not even joyful for them. I'm like, whoo, that's gonna be a big ass tax bill. You did that, but that's a big ass tax bill that's gonna come to you. That's how I be thinking. But okay, so we're here. So let's break this down just a little bit. The grantor. When you're developing let's just start with the revocable living trust. And even when you're developing your bigger trust, you may start off as the grantor. Now, when you get to the bigger trust, there's two ways that you can go about it. And I teach that in the Patreon. But let's just say that you are creating your trust and you are placing all your assets in there. Now, when you place all your assets in your revocable living trust is none other than an estate planning purpose. That's all it is. It is not something that, you know what I'm saying, you can go to the bank, you know what I'm saying, and tell them what to do because you're in a revocable living trust. I think I was on somebody's live on TikTok yesterday and she talking about that she is going to what the hell did she say? She said something about on the lines that she using her revocable living trust to tell the court to do her bidding and she made so and so trustee. Well, I'm like, you lying, either you lying or you don't know what the hell you're talking about. In my in my in my Patreon, I show them everything in black and white. Like you cannot lie. Like I can see right through these people. You see what I'm saying? For one, in order for you to make anybody trustee, maybe that's something that can happen before that, but I can promise you in 2022, you were not able to actually 2021. In 2021, when I first got in trust, you could not just appoint anybody. They had to accept that role. I know because I was motherfucking trying to appoint the IRS lady to do my taxes and it took freaking forever. And then that's when I realized that they have to accept the position. And I wasn't even using the right type of trust to even bring on such uh like that's to me that's a big thing. So like that wasn't even the right type of trust. You know what I'm saying? So when you're the grantor, as you can see right here, you are placing all your assets inside of a trust, a revocable living trust. Now, the revocable living trust is not another entity, people. So when you learn business structure, as I have, and this is why I can do what I do, you know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people saying just trust ain't shit. No, the trust is the motherfucking shit. Yo ass don't know how to work a trust. But anywho, um, so um, when you have a grantor trust, your liability is still you, right? So you have this, let's just play pretend and you have a box, and this box is your box, and you put everything in that box still belongs to you. So if you go do some stupid ass shit, or you go piss some people off, or you fuck with a person like me, I'm coming after you and your box because there's no separation. And best believe I will be able to look you and your shit up, you know what I'm saying, and do an asset search and find you, your shit, and that box. Because most of y'all have y'all's information displayed publicly. You see? So you still have a liability. You have a big ass flag on your back. I don't give a flying shit if an attorney tells you to put a house or all these TikToks and Instagrams telling you to put your house in a living trust. Now, two things about that. That is a good idea. You can put that house in a living trust, right? But you may want to have some verbiage in that living trust to let people know if something happened or this trust should be open for whatever reason, then the assets in that trust should move to another jurisdiction. That's what I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you try to bring a suit on my revocable living trust, the revocable living trust of mine don't really own anything. It's the boss of everything, but it don't really own anything. That shit done moved. You see what I'm saying? And it was already done before I got into some shit. So now they can't say that I did a fraudulent conveyance because now people are getting sued, you know what I'm saying, for debt collections or whatever. And if you're getting sued for a debt collection, come on, y'all now, come out now. All you have to do is send them a validation. They're gonna have to cease that immediately. I don't care if you got to go to court. Hey, I sent you this validation to, like, I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping to pay it, but what is your validation? If you go look up, and I taught this free in my credit group, my credit repair group, we talked about what the true meaning of validation and verification was. So that shouldn't even be an issue. It should be nothing stopping you from creating a revocable living trust at, like, at the bare minimum, create that. Okay. Because they come after you for garnishment, if they come after you in bankruptcy, whatever they trying to do, because we was living, what I'm saying, we was just living the lifestyle that we living in, and so we didn't really get our shit together. But now it's the time to get your shit together. So I say create a revocable living trust, and inside of that trust, it needs to have a movable item. It needs, if something was to happen, it moves to a bigger trust. If something happens to you, it splits for your children. You see what I'm saying? Things like that. Remember, you can mold it by Supreme Court. You can mold it and do whatever you want inside of that trust. Okay. So there's nothing saying that you can't do that. You can no. Supreme Court says you can mold it and shape it however you want. Now, I mean, it can't say like you're gonna go alive 10 people because you know what I'm saying, you can't do that. But you know what I'm saying? Other than that, then do what you do, have proper verbiage and wording in there. And that's what I would use an attorney so that way they can, read over it and make sure that your verbiage and your wording is correct, spelling, because y'all know I can't spell for shit. You know what I'm saying? Spelling is correct or whatever. You also want to have a dictionary so that because you know how attorneys are, dictionary to let them know that this is what I mean by these terminologies, and it's nothing that you can twist or turn or cohese say that it's something else. This is what it is. So I would have that. You don't have to, but I would have that so nothing can be misconstrued. Okay. So if you put all your things in this box, that box is still yours. This is why when you're in a revocable will and trust, nothing has changed. Even when you've done your taxes, nothing has changed. You're still doing a 1040. Everybody want to say I'm doing a 1041. No, you're not doing no daggone 1041. You're not doing a 1041 until something happened to you. You know what I'm saying? And your trustee got to do the work for you. And so the trustee got to, do the estate taxes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you're in the right state where there is no estate tax. You know what I'm saying? Or gift tax or transfer taxes and all them freaking taxes. Like, child, Lord, there's too many goddamn taxes. And that's why I'm so glad that this one particular type of trust dissolves all that shit. And if we should happen just to miss something, we're not taking any type of benefits or privileges to incur these taxable events. So another thing that I have, yes, yes. Another thing that I have heard was that it was dummy decision for you to always operate inside of your trust. Let me tell y'all something. As the strategist as I am, because this is just who I am. Once I figure out something, once I figure out to do, not to do, this is how shit works. Listen, something in my brain clicks, and I'm able to put shit together where I have this big ass loophole, and ain't shit you can tell me because I ain't doing what you told me I couldn't do. I'm not doing anything illegal, and this is just what it is. So let me give y'all an example from some stupid ass shit like that. Using your trust, right? You don't know what the fuck you okay. Woosah. Come back. You know what I'm saying? All right. ADHD. Okay. All right. So if you are the trustee, right? Of I don't care, revocable living trust, I don't care whatever trust. You are the trustee, right? Your job is to do what is in the best interest of the beneficiaries. The beneficiaries don't just have to be the children. Okay. There's nowhere that says beneficiaries have to be children. The beneficiaries can be a 501c3, a tree, you know what I'm saying? Like a beneficiary don't have be a child. So as long as you're doing something on the best interest of the beneficiaries, then that's what you are called to do. So, for example, don't I have to live underneath the house? Don't I need an apartment or something? Don't I need a house? Don't I need a vehicle? Don't I need food to eat? Don't I need to pay bills? You know what I'm saying? I gotta do all this shit. If something happened to me and I can't live, that means I can't be able to feed this motherfucking tree its fertilizer. Do you see what I'm saying? So on top of that, if you are the trustee and you do something wrong for the benefit of the beneficiaries, you will not be held liable. You see, as long as you ain't unaliving nothing, unaliving nobody, and you ain't causing debt just to be causing debt. You know what I'm saying? Then that's a way that you can pierce the trust. So I'm also hearing that, okay, I'm in trust. Now I can go, you know what I'm saying? I can go do all these things. Or listen, let me tell you something. You can't do all these things because one, if the trust is actually separated from you, in which it should be, because if it's not separated from you, then I'm gonna take your box. So if you do something and you create a whole bunch of debt and you do something that has nothing to do with the trust, then you are going to be held liable for your motherfucking crimes. Stop trying to put your trust in jeopardy and saying that you did this and you did that and my trust did this. You're a damn lie. You're a liar. You can't do that. You're going to breach that trust. You see what I'm saying? Your personal life has nothing to do with that trust. That's why your box is held by that fucking trust. I mean, like, I really thought that was common sense. This is now no longer your box. All your shit that was in this box is no longer your box. You're no longer the grantor. It's not yours. You gave up. Now let's scroll down. You gave up. You gave up this box. This is no longer my box. I don't have that box no more. What does the IRS say? It say, hold on, let me find it. I should be able to go to this like all the time, but I can't. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay, let's see. A grantor trust is a trust over which the grantor has retained certain interest or control. So that means if I have given up this box, I will no longer be held liable for the motherfucking box. It's not my box anymore. Now think. I want you to think, really think. You go get a house, you go get a car, the attorney says put it in a living trust. People are telling you to put it in a living trust so that way if something happens to the mom and dad and yada yada yada, it'll go to the children tax free, yada yada yada. But one main question that I be thinking is, okay, well, that was a grantor trust. That person is no longer there, and it is now the trust, and it's in the best interest for me. However, there's nobody talks about the estate tax that comes after that. They put all that shit in the estate tax. That's why they got to file a 1041. So when that person passed, the trustee got to go do the 1041. So all that's going to just be in the state, and the estate, the amount of money that that person has put in there, the estate should have took care of all those taxes. But what if it doesn't? Because let's be real, a lot of us is not rich like that. A lot of us, is just regular old people. We don't think like that. That's why I say your revocable living trust. needs to have some sort of clause for something happened to you or it's been penetrated, then it moves. It's a movable trust. Nobody has control. So that way, your children ain't got to deal with the motherfucking shit at all. Like at all. Like it don't you don't even have to think about that shit. I ain't got to deal with that shit. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? A living trust, you gotta deal with all that. You gotta do the estate taxes at the end of the day, at the end of the year. No, 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 no. I mean, you can. You can go. I'm not. I can't think too much. That's too difficult. I don't do nothing too difficult. I like to keep shit simple. Don't have me thinking too much. I'm already a Virgo, and I already overthink shit as it is. I don't need nothing else to think about. So I don't have to think about that because my trust is movable. And I am no longer the grantor. I even say you can have your neighbor have a trust okay, so for example, let me just do an example. Say I built your trust for you, I gave it to you, right? Then you can go to a neighbor because maybe you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You can go to a neighbor and be like, hey neighbor, can you put a penny in my trust? Okay, sure, a penny. That's all. Like for real, like you didn't just do the penny. Okay, so that penny is a penny, and now the trust has been funded. So now it's an operator trust with a penny, and it's still a non-grantor. Now, if you didn't do it that way, cool. Later on, oh, I see. I teach my children this way, or how I'm about to tell you. So we're gonna create this trust. You're gonna create it, or whatever. But then you going to resign. You're going to resign. It's not yours. Now, the trust that we develop, we ain't gotta go, we ain't gotta worry about all that neither because it's already a separate entity when you created it. When you created it. You see that? So we don't have to worry about that. Now they have to worry about that with their revocable living trust, but they don't have to worry about that with their bigger trust because it's already done. When you created it, it was already separate. So that's a motherfucking another thing you ain't got to worry about. You see? Okay, so a grantor trust is a trust over which the grantor has retained certain interests. So when they go into these courtrooms, okay, and they want to scream equity, yes, it is true. It is true that all trusts are held in equity. However, if you ain't operating in equity, you will not go to equity court. So going back to your trust administration, that revocable living trust that they trying to get out these courtrooms got a whole motherfucking bank account. Y'all motherfuckers want to be free so daggone bad. However, you still rely on the government for everything. So pick and choose which one you want to, how you want to operate. There's no right or wrong, but don't try to combine the shit and then be like, I'm free, but your ass is still using that shit. And you're not even using a public entity to use that shit. I mean, if you're going to do it, then do it right. Your ass is backwards and you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And it shows. Stop the, oh Lord. I be just, sometimes I just be listening and they say something. Oh, let me go tell my students what the fuck I just heard. What the shit? What the hell? Okay, so you don't want to hold interest in your trust, otherwise it's going to be a grantor trust. Now, revocable trusts also are called living trusts. So going back to what I said, hold on, wait a minute. Is there a way that I can, let me see. Yes, I can. Hold on, y'all. Oop, okay, that'll work. We're gonna get everybody on here. Oh, why it didn't work? Hold on. There we go. Boom. All right. Now let's go back to trust primer on the IRS. Okay. Now, okay. Now, revocable, also called living trust. So if it is a grantor trust, right? Almost, I have not seen, I'm not going to say it's not, but I have not seen a revocable trust that has not been a grantor trust. I have not seen a living trust not be a grantor trust. If it is a grantor trust, it is a weak ass trust. Okay? It is weak. It can only do something. I mean, it's more powerful than corporations, but it's still weak. Okay. Think of that living trust as a baby. Okay, no, as a baby giant. Think of it as a baby giant. It's bigger than you, but it's still a baby giant. You see what I'm saying? Now look what it says. Revocable trusts are also living trusts. I don't care if they say an express living trust. See, people be trying to use these big ass words to reel your ass in. And all they're doing is telling you what they're using. Now, let me talk about the express trust. This is express trust. If y'all don't shut the fuck up with that stupid ass shit, because yes, it's an express. However, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to be free, but y'all motherfuckers ain't operating freely. Starting with the goddamn bank account. So shut up. Express living. What the fuck? Let me show you what an express. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I cuss. Because I be passionate with it and I don't like liars. And um I'm like this because of something that happened to me 4 years ago. Trusting this girl, and maybe I haven't gotten over it, but I just try to be like, y'all need to learn because I was screwed, you know what I'm saying? So people need to learn this shit for themselves. If I can show you where to find your shit, you would never have to rely on me. You can be responsible of your own shit. But see, some people, they don't want you to find the information. I don't like to be bothered. Like, I don't like to be bothered, like at all. So I don't want you depending on me. So I'm going to show you. But if you're showing me like you don't want to read and you don't want to research, then I'm going to just say fuck you and you figure it out. Or you can pay for it. Either or. That's just my personality. And I apologize for it. Actually, I'm not going to apologize because that's just me. So either you roll with it or get rolled over. Now, let's see what an express trust is. An express trust, an intentional trust, meaning you sat your bitch ass down and you had the intentions of creating something. How powerful you are. You created this. It's power in words. Me and my friend were just talking about this power in words. So you sat down and you had the intentions of creating something. That is a goddamn express trust. Nothing else. Now, if you're trying to be free, you know what I'm saying, and you want to, you know what I'm saying, you want to be about that life, then that means your administrative process, how you operate. Come on, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Okay, you know, in manifestation, right? You have to sit down and you have to have the intentions of this is the reality that I want to create. You see what I'm saying? This is how I want to look. This is how I want to feel. You see that intention right there? That is the same thing with the trust. And you are expressing this. So if you want something to be done, then you got to walk your shit and talk your shit with me. Hey, friend, hey, friend, hey, friend. You see what I'm saying? Same thing as a trust. You want your trust to be oh so free. You want your trust to be this and you want to be that, then that means you have to carry yourself accordingly. Because if you don't fucking carry yourself accordingly, then it won't be that. Same thing as your administration. Don't sit up here and say you want to be free. You on this side of the fence, and here come the government talking about you want a penny, you want $1, and your whole ass goes there and go get that dollar like a little fish, waving $1 at your ass, and you go running. But you just wanted this trust to be that motherfucker. Don't straddle the fence. So that means your trust administration gotta be right. You can't accept no benefits and privileges. And the main thing that this is where you're gonna get, and nobody thinks about it, is that goddamn bank account. Okay, that goddamn bank account or that mindset that I'm gonna get something for free. I'm gonna get something for nothing. No, trust don't operate like that. If I owe you something, the motherfucker, I'm gonna owe you something. Here it is. You ain't finna have no debt on me. You know daggone well you created this debt, but you trying to give it to the trust. Trust ain't got nothing to do with that shit. It don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. Now you gave me this. That's like like street code. Like I'm just thinking in the street. You know how like in them gangster movies or whatever, they be having like them bags and stuff, and they're like, here go the bag, and they go on about their business, and then now they trying to come find this person because they gave it, and he ain't had nothing to do with it. That's what it be reminded. The trust ain't got nothing to do with your bullshit. That's why you gave the trust your box. It ain't got nothing to do with you. So if you get sued or whatever, what happens, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing. What the hell they gonna take? Then we're gonna have to start strategizing, right? Because in the Patreon, I also teach the Social Security, how that is attached, how they get you there. So you don't always have to be using your social. You just gonna have to be asserting your authority. Now, if you capture your social, then use it because it's been captured. But you need to capture it. All of these motherfuckers trying to do A, B, and C, talking about I'm trying to get free bills, I'm trying to do this, and you don't even own none of your goddamn accounts. You have no control. You're still a minor. You're a baby. You're not even competent. So they're not even looking at you. They're not looking at you to do fucking business. You're just a freaking baby. Who are you to be me for having this conversation with me? Now, I'm not saying you got to be like me and go be a bank and get the banking commissioner. That's just something that I wanted to do because can't nobody tell me nothing. Look, I got this from the look. I'm a financial institution, so we're gonna have this conversation. I'm already in the capacity to go do whatever I need to do. I'm already in a capacity where I don't have to use my actual credit. That is what they're talking about, the unlimited credit, to be honest with you. Can you negotiate a motherfucking contract? No, you can't, because your ass probably don't even know what a contract is. I'm just saying. If you about that life, then you don't sit down and you don't sign something that you don't agree with. Your ass just went up there and got a car and you signed it agreeing with that. If your ass was in the capacity you were supposed to be in and you was really operating that trust and this is you have your intention of setting up this way and you wanted to be about that, then you're gonna go to that signing table and be like, no, we scratching this out. Because if you really know what a contract was, a contract got to be a two-way street. We are negotiating. It ain't just going to be one way and I'm signing. That's unilateral. That ain't bilateral. So no, I don't want that. Scratch that out. I don't want it. Scratch that out. I don't want it. And then it was like on mine, like, cause I'm not gonna say that, look, it was, I was there too. Sign, just sign. I ain't read shit, just sign, just signing. I just want this shit to get over with them. You know what I'm saying? I was there too. But you learn and you grow up to be a caterpillar, I mean a butterfly. You transform after the experiences of your life. So don't even be ashamed of what the fuck you went through. Because let me tell you, I'm gonna be straight up because I ain't got shit to hide. I had beautiful apartment. Oh my God. Oh my, it was like my dream apartment. Okay. I didn't mind paying rent because at that time I was a single parent and I wasn't finna be doing no fixing no shit, no none of that shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready. I had my four pools, I had a workout station, I had a garage, I had stainless steel appliance. My room was huge, and I even had a big ass garden tub. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love that apartment so. And what happened? My daggone kids. That is motherfucking fuck. Got in one fight. Got in a fight. I don't even think she won that fight. But anyways, we got in a fight and we got evicted. All right, cool. We get evicted. Go on to another apartment. That apartment was all right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have my garden tub and my double sinks and my walk-in closet. Oh my God. Oh my God, I miss that. I miss that apartment. But anyway, so Then my other child got into some trouble. Her ass was so daggone bad. There was a time, I don't even remember what happened, but anyways, I had kicked her ass out. She ran away, whatever. I don't remember. Either she ran away or whatever. I don't know. If some of y'all are follow me for years or whatever, remember that whole time that the kids ran away, couldn't find them, and I was posting all over social media, whatever. Anyway, at some point in time, she came back and she broke into the house or whatever. There was like blood on the window. I didn't know what the hell was going on. My house was completely destroyed, like completely destroyed. And then we got home, something happened. She tried to beat on her sisters. I almost, you know what I'm saying, unalived her, you know what I'm saying? So they, had to call the police and stuff like that or whatever, whatever. And so, anyways, now she wasn't allowed on the property. So obviously that's my child. She went to jail. So she went to jail, and then motherfucking her ass broke out of the motherfucking jail. Like, how the hell does a child break out of fucking jail? So then she went missing again. But anyway, at this point in time, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm not married. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So we had to move. And the best thing that I can do in that short amount of time, because when we finally found her, she was not allowed back on the premises. So y'all, listen, I had, and this is a blessing to be honest. I had to move. Look, listen, my lavish lifestyle, do you hear me? Do you hear me? Was ruined by these children. Ruined. I had to move into a shack. Do you hear what I'm trying to tell you? A shack in the worst. Look, I used to look at this city like that city that I'm in. I used to look at that city like, I could never, would never, could never, You know what I'm saying? Because I was a little bougie. Well, I still am a little bougie, but yeah, I was bougie. I had to move into a motherfucking shack. Shack. Do you hear me? Shack. It was so bad that my youngest daughter at the time, she couldn't even stay with us. I had to go send her with her dad. She had to go stay with her dad until I got my shit together. Then I got fired from my job. And my boss at the time talking about, "Now, this is when COVID hit. I'll call you if and when I need you." That was the moment I said, bitch, I'm gonna do something. That's when I started studying. When COVID hit, that's when I went hard. Hard. Do you hear me? Because what the fuck? Look at my life. I was living this lavish and I got punked because of these daggone kids. Didn't have no sense. I mean, it wasn't their fault. They were their kids. Kids is gonna get into some shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's our job as parents to make sure we are prepared for the bullshit that they're gonna put us through. And so trust, because you don't know what the fuck your kids gonna do. Okay. That was like the most stressful, horriblest life with 2 years just you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was able to study and do all this, and I came up out of that. So don't be ashamed of your struggle. Don't be ashamed of your mistakes, because that's what's gonna make you better. You see what I mean? Anyway, moving on. I forgot what the whole purpose of me telling y'all that was. Okay, so going back to the trust. Lord have mercy, I don't forgot the whole point that I said that story. Mm-mm-mm. 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 I don't know why I said that. Hmm. All right, well, anyway. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the trust. Okay, this is the IRS. Okay, you can look it up yourself. So the revocable, also called a living trust. Motherfuckers are just giving y'all's big ass name. Oh yeah, that's why I got into trust. Okay. And then some other shit happened like later on where CPS was called and it was like he say, she say, or whatever. That's when I really got into trust because they were trying to take my baby and I wasn't finna have that over something she really didn't do. Now I can understand she did something, you know what I'm saying, and consequences, but she ain't really do this, you know what I'm saying? So I had to fight. And that's how I started beating court cases. Now, I ain't good, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have that experience because I literally didn't have to talk. All I had to do was show some documentation. They didn't, their motherfucking ass didn't even look at me. So I can't say that I know court procedures. That this is just something that happened to me. And I took people along on that journey. I remember when I thought I lost that case. I came home, I was like, y'all, I lost it. Came on live, I lost that case. Then a few days later, I don't know if it was a few days later or a week later, they sent me an email talking about it was dismissed. So I beat that one too. So for me, I didn't have to do, I didn't have to do too much. And that's what the revocable living trust had did for me. You see what I'm saying? Um, but again, revocable trust, I have not seen a revocable that has not been a grantor. I have not seen a living trust that has not been a grantor. So anybody's bragging upon their revocable living trust, roll your eyes, keep moving because that's a weak ass trust. Unless it's movable. And I'm sure that it ain't movable because it ain't me. Okay. Well, I mean, now you probably do make it movable because I told you. No, I'm just playing. All right. So now, if you see here, if you read right here, this IRC 61-67 are anti-abuse rules. This is what's going to tell you what to do, what not to do. So when you hear people talking about this and that, go look this up because it's actually explaining you what not to do. Like these foreign grantor trusts. Now, let me. I sat up here and went round and round with people with these daggone foreign grantor. I'm gonna get a 9(8) number. I did too. I got a 9(8) number. And I'm telling you, if you really live the lifestyle, you start seeing what was a lie because shit don't work how they say it do. And if you ask the IRS questions, they give you the answer. Like, you know what I'm saying? No, you can't do that. You can do this though. You know what I'm saying? They don't, I mean, I haven't experienced anybody lying to me. If they didn't know, then they'll just transfer me to somebody who do know. Or you can read those private letter rulings. That's what I did. I looked up the private letter rulings. These were all people who had the same exact question that I did. You know what I'm saying? And I got the answer. That's how I be fucking knowing. So, anyways, back in the revolt, I mean the foreign grantor trust, everybody wanted to be foreign so daggone bad, thinking they was just gonna get out of taxes. But what does this say? You key word, they said a foreign grantor trust. Now, if we go here and we go look at the uniform trust code. Hold on, oh damn, I have to find it. Hopefully it's highlighted. Oh, good. Google. Okay. So if we go look at the governing law, no, I think it's before the governing law. Hold on. Excuse me, hold on. Anissa! One of my kids is sick, y'all, and I hear her. She's dramatic. She's a dramatic one. Hey, can you go check on mine for me, please? Oh, no, I think it's here. Maybe it was after this. Principal place of administration. Yeah, this is right here. Principal place of administration. It says without precluding other means of establishing a sufficient connection with the designated jurisdiction, terms of the trust designating the principal place of administration are valid in controlling if a trustee principal place of business is located in or a trustee is a resident of the designated jurisdiction or all or part of the administration occurs in the designated jurisdiction. So just by reading, I mean, you can read on, but just by reading this, when they were talking about the foreign grantor trust, that's how I knew that they were lying because if I, she, because she's eating. She didn't, did she ask her if she ate anything? She didn't eat anything. Yeah, no, because there's nothing in her stomach for her to throw up. Yeah, eat bread. Sorry. So this told me right here when I asked them, okay, well, where do you live at? America. Oh, were you a U.S. citizen? Yeah. It wasn't foreign. You gonna give her some chips? No, girl, you don't get it. You gotta eat something plain. She don't need no. Fine, give her some chips. She's just gonna throw it up anyway. Um, I think I got a piece of ginger or something. Where was I? So I was like, then one, if you go look up what the foreign grantor trust, you'll see that it's domestic. So it just depends on where the trustee is administrating that trust. And they were administering that trust in America in a stupid ass state. It wasn't foreign. Then my ass, I was like, okay, let me see if foreign grantor trusts are taxable. So I went looking, searching, and there was foreign grantor trusts that were taxed. There was even Supreme Court cases that people went to jail because they didn't pay no taxes. They didn't even file. Some of them went to jail because they didn't file. So it looked like money laundering. So when we develop our trust in the Patreon, it's not about paying tax. You still have to file. You still have to let them know what you're operating. That's why we fill out certain IRS paperwork. You know what I'm saying? You fill out the 1041. And if you're redeeming in lawful money, that should be reflecting on those tax returns as well. Okay. So that's how you get away from the taxes. They know exactly how you're operating. You're not hiding anything. Look, if you about that life, I don't understand. If you about that life, why do you have to lie? If you're building your foundation on a lie, then it's going to come crumbling down. I know your mama told you not to taught you not to lie because you can't keep up with a lie. Now I was in that stage where I was like, okay, I'm not going to use my social. And guess what happened to me? I had so much shit I didn't even know what the hell I used, and they closed some of my accounts just because I didn't know if I used my social. I didn't know if I used my EIN, my state EIN. I didn't know what the hell I used. You know what I'm saying? So let's tell the truth. So this is why another thing that the trust that I talk about is so powerful because it is foreign when you create it. It's a separate entity when you created it. So you ain't got to worry about none of that shit. And then it don't already have taxes as it is. And then just in case we miss something, we're not taking no benefits or privileges to create taxable events. So if you know about taxes, and what creates taxable events, then you wouldn't do that. To have a tax bill, you should only be getting refunds. You should be getting interest checks. Why ain't nobody showing no interest checks? I want to know. How the hell you gonna talk about trust and your ass ain't even getting no interest checks? Come on, bitch. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just talking shit. I like to talk shit. Okay, so you see, so the principal place of administration is where it's going to tell you if it's controlled. So who your grantor, I'm going to tell you how it's going to be controlled. Who the grantor is going to tell you if it's controlled. The governing law is going to tell you where it's controlled, if it's controlled. The principal place of administration is going to tell you if it's controlled. Their bank account is going to tell you if it's controlled. So all of those things, everybody want to be in equity, but you ain't operating in equity already. Some of them trying to lie and scheme. If you try to lie and scheme and you don't even owe these accounts, first of all, you're trying to get away from your debt that you have. You don't know how to contract, you don't know how to read a contract, you don't know how to negotiate. So it's telling you that you're incompetent anyway, but then you're going to try to backdoor and get out and get something for free. You're not operating in equity. That's like saying I owe this debt, but I'm not going to pay it. You can't do that in trust. If the trust owes a fucking debt, it has to pay it. You're living in equity. So that's like, this is how I picture it. This is how I imagine it. I imagine it like this. You working for God. You sit up here and you say, I don't use God. That sounds weird to me. Creator. Oh, I don't know. I just got, I don't like that. You working for the creator and the creator tells you go do A, B, and C. You go do G, E, and F. How are you going to say that you are working for the creator, yet you're doing everything the creator told you not to do, but yet you want the creator's protection? So you going behind the creator's back and doing some fuck off shit, and then you get into some shit, and now you want to be like, creator, come help me? Hell no. Ain't got nothing to do with that. I think this is where I get confused. What part? What part you get confused on? On because a trust is coming back to natural law. Natural law is whose law? The created law. But you can't be trying to be no conniving ass shit and then expect that your trust is gonna just handle you. You can't do that. So the debt part. So I'm gonna assume to say that if your trust owes a debt, it has to pay the debt. Or if you owe a debt, if you're owed a debt, you're gonna give it to your trust. You can't do that. Trust ain't got nothing to do with your debt. That's all accounting. You can get rid of that, but that's accounting. No, if my minor self does. If your minor self does. If your minor self does. If your minor self, if you're not in trust, you're a minor. Let me say it another way. Whenever you're in trust, just because you're in trust or a trustee of a trust, doesn't it also doesn't make you age a majority neither. This is why the trustee has to accept the position, because what if the trustee is not competent enough to handle that duty? Then he wouldn't be a position to get shit done. For instance, if I put my house in a trust, the trust didn't incur the debt. For instance, if I put my house in a trust, are you talking about a bigger trust or are you talking about a revocable living trust? If you put it in a revocable living trust, it don't matter. As far as real estate, you're going to have to talk to your bank or whoever you did the financing, because sometimes if you put it in that bigger trust, then they will make it to where you have to pay it all off at once. That's why they put it in a revocable living trust. But again, living trust, if that revocable living trust is movable and transfers to a bigger trust, it's already done. You have security agreements in the background. That's why those private agreements are there. If I understand your question correctly. But for a house, what I would do is I would create an LLC in a particular state that doesn't not allow me to gain those sales taxes on houses or cars. I won't have to pay no sales tax, and the LLC would be already owned by. Oh, thank you. Um, it's already owned by a trust, y'all. Speaking of that, I had made a TikTok video, and I was saying that to make your revocable living trust the member of your LLC. And this dude really said, why not make the trust the owner? And I was started laughing. At first I was confused. I was like, is he kidding? Is he kidding? And so I said, well, what are the members, y'all? The members are the owners of the LLC. That shit was just so funny to me. I need to get a one-on-one view before opening back up in July. Okay, no problem. I'll be here. Um, but yeah, so that's what I would do if I had a house, because the house is not mine. It'll be under the LLC, right? And I don't incur no type of sales tax. And um, that LLC is owned by the member, which would be the revocable living trust. That's how we get out of that CTA reporting the beneficial interest because a trust is not a reporting agency because you didn't ask permission from the state to create it. You see? So nobody will be up in your business. That's how I would do it. You see? Um, Now, when you go get a house, if you went to go get a house, another way you can already secure it is by doing what you were supposed to do before you went and got the house. And if you took the business trust party, you would know exactly what to do and why, especially with the trust that we built in Patreon. Because the trust that we built says it cannot be it cannot be taken back by the creditors if it had a security, a perfected security. You see? So if you took that class, I don't know, Ebony, I don't know if you took that class, but if you took that class, you would know what to do before you go get a mortgage, before you go get a car, before you do all these things. And I hate to bring this up because I only did this once, but I don't know if y'all remember when I got all my car note money back. Dang it. That's my baby daddy. Um uh Child, lost my thought. See, squirrel. Um, I like how you express the way you build. Um, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you took the business trust party class, that teaches you what to do before you do anything. Now, I want to show y'all something too, because that thing that's going around that your name is a corporation. This is something that I keep for my Patreon, but I'm gonna show it to y'all because I'm tired of that motherfucking lie going around. Oh, I could have answered the daggone phone. I'm stupid. I'm on a computer, not on my phone, but it came up on my phone because I'm looking at the comments on my phone. All right, so let me show you this. Where am I? Okay, so I forgot if it was eight or if it was eight or nine. I don't remember. Oh, it took me a while to learn. I had to learn from my students how to break it down better because they still had questions. So I actually had to learn if we needed it from the left. Yeah, I put it in there. I gave you the link. That wasn't free. Maybe you thought it was free. That ain't free. And everything in the Patreon is free. But like if I have to go and like break it down like in a better that costs. Because these are all things that you can look up yourself for free. But if I break it down, then yeah, you're gonna have to pay for that. All right, so it was UCC 9. Okay. So this is the lie that people are spreading around that your name is a corporation. It is not a corporation. So anybody telling you that it's a corporation, uh, they don't fucking know what the fuck they're talking about, but they want to talk shit on the book with subliminal fucking messages. Let me shut up. I'm past that. Okay. Where'd it go? All right. A registered organization means an organization. Oh yeah, because I put the link in the Patreon thing. Not I'll send it to your email. That's where it's at, and you can't get in because when I had locked it for the free. Okay. Means an organization organized solely under the law of a single state. Think. Let's imagine it. Imagine your birth certificate. It's well, mine is blue. I don't know if they're all different colors, but mine is blue and white. And it has a state written of it, and it's called Texas. Right? Okay. The filing of a public organic record. Okay. It was public. You can look it up in the public, right? The issuance of a public organic record or the enactment of legislation by the state of the United States. The term includes a business trust, So what is the punk bitches talking about? It's a fucking corporation. It is a corporation. It is a fucking business trust that they already fucking gave you. They gave you the shit. Y'all never took control of it. So if you were going to take control of it, let's go to the Sister K Trust Act, where it says something on the lines of, if y'all motherfuckers gotta go leave and go to war or go whoever, we gonna stay here and we gonna take care of that shit until you come back. But y'all motherfuckers got left at sea and y'all swimming for dear life and we don't know where you are, so we have to take over. So you gotta come back to the land, motherfuckers. You gotta come back to the land and get your shit back that you ain't never did. That's why you having a hard time. You see? It ain't no corporation. A corporation has rules and regulations. A business trust does not. So why would you even want to say that it is a corporation? Ew. Have you heard that TikTok video where it says, ew, ew, ew. Hold on. Ugh. Y'all see? He says, brother ill. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, okay, let me go back to the comments. Brother Ed, you're not you're not a corporation, you're a business trust. Okay, you're a business trust already. You don't have no rules. What did the creator say? That you have dominion. So he made these motherfuckers give you the power already. You just didn't come back. You didn't come swim back to the land. You still wet. You're still out there in the ocean. So if you're in the ocean, then you gotta deal with them whales and shit. Their rules and regulations. You under their shit. You see? That's like coming to my house. You come to my house. You coming into my house and you want to eat up my food and you want to do this. Well, then, motherfucker, you better go your bitch ass and go take out the trash and go clean these dishes. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we do to tell our children to do. Why? Because they live up underneath our roof and they eating our food and they're making a mess. We telling them you got to go clean that shit up. So you are in the realm of the government. So if you're in the realm of the government, that means that you don't have to do what the government say. But if you're in your own realm and you stay in mind your own daggone business, you ain't gotta follow nobody else's rules. You using their FRNs, so you using their FRNs, they're gonna tell you it's taxes involved in that. Because their FRNs are private. They made private agreements and did whatever they did. So anytime you use their money, they tax you on that. But if then you're in a trust, there's no trust, there's no taxes in trust. And actually in corporations, there's really no taxes unless you made over $250,000. So I mean, just do it in accordance with, you know what I'm saying? The IRS got you can look up standard deduction. I like the little chart that they have, but there it is. Okay, there's a little chart. So single is this the right one? Just make sure. I'm just gonna use this, but just make sure it's the right one. Probably gotta look for it, but let's just say that this is correct right now. Oh, it says for 2024. Okay, so single or married, filing separately, you can't make over $14,600. Where's hmm, this is it? What happened? So this is what we need to be doing. We need to. Why is this little thing here? I really be like doing the shit. You know what I'm saying? All these pop-ups and shit. Um, official tax bracket. Okay, so that's married. So you just gonna look on here and it tells you well, however much you're gonna make throughout the year, how much is gonna be taxed on. So in my head, if it say head of household, if it say I can't make more than $16,550 a year, then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start constructing it in a way where I don't make that. So if I'm working and I have a trust set up, that direct deposit should be that money that I'm making for direct deposit should be going into the trust bank account, not my bank account. Why would I do that? And then you're not taxed at all. There's some forms you got to fill out. You know what I'm saying? You have to correct some W-2s and shit like that, So the first year gonna be, you know what I'm saying? For the first year was difficult. I had to try to stay on task, you know what I'm saying? But I laid all that out on my Patreon now, you know what I'm saying, from where I started. At first, I just was doing the trust, but then I started noticing that my students were asking me like a whole bunch of questions. So then I was like, oh, it's because y'all don't know this. So we got to go back. Okay, so the reason why we're doing this is because this is what's happening with the social. Oh, okay, well, and then I realized when I was breaking down the social, oh, you need to know what taxes is. So I had to go and break down taxes because I started realizing that I'm teaching something, but they still had questions. And even though it's all about the trust classroom, if they didn't know where these derived from, they wouldn't have a full understanding. So I feel like now that I broke down the Social Security and then the little taxes, then they have a better idea how they can operate their trust. I mean, I would think they ain't say they have not said that they don't understand something yet, but you never know with them because they don't like asking questions because they probably think I'm mean. But I'm gonna make you learn though. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna make you learn. I'm gonna say, you can go read this. Go read that. Or I'm gonna ask you a question in all points. hmm Because sometimes they know, and I think they just want to hear themselves, or maybe it's like discombobulated in my head, and then I'd be like, you just answer your own question, but you tell me. You see what I'm saying? That's how I teach. But yeah, so you see what I'm saying? You don't want to be the grant, just reiterating, you don't want to be the grantor, okay? You want to give up your box. However you want to give up your box. Your name is not a damn corporation. It is a business trust. They already gave you the power. You need to come back to the land. You need to come back underneath creator and take over dominion. But if you're gonna have dominion, then you better walk that walk. So just like us females, a dude can't sit up here and say he gonna do this, he gonna do that, he gonna then you get with him, you give him some, and then all of a sudden he ain't doing this and do it. Then you ain't no motherfucking man. If I still gotta do everything, then you ain't no man. Why are you here? So be about that life. You say you're gonna do something, then do it and stand on that. You had the intentions of creating this, you had the intentions of doing this, so you do it. That is trust. Oh, thank you, Dante. So I just wanted to come on here and, show y'all that. More than welcome to join the Patreon. There is like a screening because if you're trying to get free shit, I ain't gonna help you because I don't believe in that. Um, it sounds like your energy, it's just not fitting. It's not, I can just tell that we just not gonna lie. So the link is in my personal inbox. You can hit me up. And yeah, don't be believing the hype. If you got a question, shout at me. I bet you I can find it. Or I can tell you that they bullshit. All right, y'all. Let me stop this. And y'all take care. Enjoy your what's today? Wednesday. Enjoy your Wednesday. Uh-huh. All right.